Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Okay, so I really wasn't going to film today, but I thought I'll just go on upstairs and film because I did something today that I've never done before, and I went live with Dee Dee Bean and she interviewed me about art. So it was a lot of fun, and I was just wondering if any of you saw it live or the replay. Just let me know. I was just curious because I don't know, I enjoyed doing it and it was a lot of fun. Did I already say that? Yes, I did. Okay. So for today's video, I just have a little something to share with you. I am going to share with you my bag of the weekend. I'm going to share with you my bag of the week. I've been using this for a couple of days. I haven't used it in a while, and it's my Boit Chapeau Souple. Is it BB or is it just the small size? I love it, you guys. I'd love to have a larger one, but do I need two bags just to like? No, not really, but I do love this, and I love this round. I just love the round aesthetic of it, and it's just so cute. I'm going to show you what all fits inside. You might be a little surprised, you guys, because quite a bit of stuff fits inside this very small bag. And yeah, and then I have a little bit of an inspirational story to share with you. So if you want to see what fits inside my Boit Chapeau Souple and what's in this little bag and hear my inspirational story, stick around. Before I get started, I was going to show you guys this necklace I have on, so I'll come up close and show you. This is a little garnet that Keith bought me so many years ago. I think, I don't know, maybe when we very first got married, like almost 20 years ago. And this little chain. I also have a ring to match and some earrings, but I haven't worn it in a while, and I thought I would pull it out. But look how pretty. It just looks like a vintage piece, I think. It has this garnet, and it has little tiny diamonds around it, and I hope it's showing up. But it's such a pretty little necklace, and I just love it. It's kind of sentimental because I've had it so long. But anyway, guys, I was going to share with you, first of all, I have an unbagging, and it's a place that I love to shop because I love bohemian clothes and anything with a boho vibe. And it's one of my favorite little places to get fun clothes. And it's called Natural Life. That's the name of the website. So they have a lot of cute little things on there. And they can be a little pricey sometimes. So a lot of times I like to wait when they have a sale. But I have quite a few pair of like palazzo pants and things like that I have bought from them, and most everything I've ever gotten from them is really good quality, except one thing. I think one time I got this kind of like a dress shirt. It was like a shirt, but it was a dress. That's the only thing that I ever got that I thought the quality wasn't very good, but everything else I've ever gotten I've really loved. So what I got, I went ahead and opened it. I got two little summertime tanks. I'll take them out of the bag and I'll show you what they look like. The first one is this little orange. Look how cute. I love things like this to wear under overalls or just with a pair of shorts or even a pair of palazzo pants. Isn't this cute? So it just has these pretty little flowers, and I love the orange. I just love the colorway of this little tank. And like I said, it's all just like really casual bohemian type clothes. So cute. So I got a size medium because I like it to fit pretty well. Sometimes I get large. It depends on what I'm ordering. Sometimes if I get a t-shirt, I want it to be oversized so I can wear with leggings. But I wanted to wear these with like jeans, shorts, or even just some palazzo pants. So this is the first one. So cute, and just plain in the back. So this is the first one. And then I got another one. And I'll probably go back on there and order a few more things because I need some spring and summer clothes. You guys, are you like me? I always need new tops. Like I have so many bottoms, so many pants, so many skirts, leggings, but I never have any tops. Of course, I wear black a lot, but I wanted to get something summery looking, and I thought this one was super cute. This one is gray with hot pink, and it says love. The L kind of reminded me of a paintbrush. And there was another I think like 2 other colorways. So it's, like I said, it's Natural Life. And I love their little casual things. Because you really, I don't know, I think they're kind of different. So that's one reason I like it, and I just love the bohemian vibe. So I thought I would share that with you guys. So you might want to visit the website and see if there's anything there that you like. And I know somebody's going to ask me about my headbands. So I get these from Amazon, and I will link them below. Sometimes I wear like a little do-rag type in the crochet, but this is kind of in style for the spring and summer, which I've always worn things like this. But I think it would be cute with a headband and something like this. See, it's such a cute little vibe. Yeah, so it's very spring and summery. I have a story to tell. It is a true life story. It happened to me, and there are other people involved, and it's a true story of inspiration, kindness, and in the very end, just discovery. I don't know really how to describe it, but I'm going to tell you this story that happened to me many years ago. All right, so I'm going to pull you in just a little closer. And I'm going to share this story with you guys. I thought about sharing it a couple weeks ago and thought, they won't want to hear it. But you know what? For some reason, I felt that it would be helpful and that maybe somebody needs to hear this story. I call this story Myra. So many years ago, when I was very young and my 2 older children were very young. They were babies. They were about, I would say, 18 months and barely 3 years old. I was a single mom. I was a single mom for many years. So I moved into an apartment, and it was a low-income apartment, and I'm not ashamed to say that I lived in a low-income apartment because I did. It was the best that I could do at the time, and there's nothing wrong with that, you guys. Nothing wrong with that. I, as I said, was a single mom. I was very young, in my very early 20s with 2 babies. That was before Matthew came along, my last one. But I moved into this apartment with my babies, no child support, just me, and I was not yet a nurse. I had not went to nursing school. But I got a job in a clinic working for 2 different doctors with no medical training whatsoever. So basically, I guess I was like a medical assistant. I worked with another nurse, and I worked with the doctor, and they trained me. They trained me to do a lot of things, and so I was able to live out on my own with my children with no child support whatsoever. Because basically their dad was a deadbeat dad. I mean, he occasionally would give me a check, or basically he would just give me what he wanted to give me, and most of the time he would give me nothing at all. So I had this, it wasn't worn out, but it wasn't the best car in the world. It ran. Let's put it that way. So I moved in this low-income apartment with my babies, my little car, and I got a job. And I was feeling pretty good about myself. I was feeling pretty good about life because I got out of a bad marriage that I had married my first husband, the father of my 2 oldest children, when I was maybe 3 weeks past my 18th birthday. So that's how young I was. Here I am in my very early 20s, and I would go to work every day. I would pick my children up. They went to a Christian daycare very close to the medical facility where I worked. And I kind of had it going on, you know, to be so young and making it on my own. And I was happy. I really was. And I really didn't need any help from anybody. Occasionally my parents would help me out, you know, with a few things, but I was very independent. One day I saw like a big truck pull up, and I saw some little boys running around out in the yard, and apparently they were moving in the apartment, maybe I think it was 2 apartments down. I didn't think anything of it. A couple days went by and I was outside. I think I was going to the mailbox. Myra, the girl that moved in, the mother of these 2 little boys, she walked up to me. and introduced herself and said, I just moved in. I said, oh yeah, I was wondering who moved in over there. I said, I saw the truck that day, and we just had a little chit chat, you know. And her little boys, she was telling me their names, and they were older than my children. Hers were about 4 and 5 years old, something like that. Anyway, we had a little chat, and that was about it. Well, a couple days later, she came over knocking on the door and wanted to know if she could borrow something, but I don't remember that. She just wanted to borrow something. I loaned it to her, whatever that was. It could have been, I don't know, you guys, what it was. It's been too many years. We started talking, and she had on a pair of shorts, and I looked down. I said, oh my goodness, what happened to your legs? She said, oh, when I was a teenager, she said, I was in a terrible car accident. And she said, we were in like Volkswagens, 2 different Volkswagens full of teenagers, and we were racing down the mountain. And there's a place near where I live called Bison's Gap, and it's very, I mean, it is very curvy, like this, going down the mountain, and then like that. So they were young, you know, and they were racing down the mountain. And she said, we got into a terrible accident, and they pronounced me dead at the scene. I was like, are you serious? And she started telling me more and more, you know, about her accident. And she said they covered her up with a sheet, but then one of the paramedics actually realized that she was still alive. It was by a miracle that she pulled through. The more she told me about this story, something clicked in my head, and I said, who was killed in that accident? And she said, there was an older man that was killed. 2 teenagers from 1 Volkswagen was killed, and then they thought she had died, but she pulled through. I said, was the name of the guy Henry Stevens? And she looked at me like, how do you know? And I said, you're not going to believe this, Myra. I said, but that Henry Stevens, that is my boyfriend's dad that died in that car wreck. You know, we were blown away by the coincidence of it. And I was like, yeah. And we were talking about it, and we just, you know, figured it out. I remember that when my ex-husband, then boyfriend, he came over, and I was telling him, I was like, can you believe that? That's Myra. He's like, are you serious? We just couldn't believe it, you know? That what is the coincidence years and years later that I'm dating the deceased man's son, and then the girl that almost died in the accident moved right next to me. That was just, it just blew me away, you guys. As time went on, we were neighbors. We were neighbors for probably a year and a half, something like that. So as time went on, she became a thorn in my side. I'm not kidding. Every time I turned around, she was knocking on my door wanting something. She did not have a car. She did not have a job. And I think one of her little boys' dad was a long haul trucker. And because every now and then I would see this big truck pull up. He would spend the night or the weekend, give her a little money, and take off. She was always in need, you guys. Like I wasn't. I mean, I had a job. I mean, I was providing for my children, but she was always in need. She would knock on the door and ask if she could borrow some milk. Like, she'd bring a sippy cup over and say, do you care to put a little milk in this for one of her youngest boy? And I was like, okay. So I would just hand her my gallon of milk and say, here, just take that. I've got to go to the grocery store later. And then she'd say, well, can I hitch a ride with you? Because I need to pick up a few things, but I only have like $10. I'd say, okay. I mean, it was like that all the time. It got to where, you know, in the mornings, I kind of had my morning ritual. I would wake up in the mornings, get my kids up. They would be sitting there eating their cereal or breakfast. And I would open up the windows. I had some big picture windows in the kitchen, or in the living room rather. I would open up the window, and when I did, these 2 little boys were just peering in at me. And I thought, oh my God, you know, I mean, you know. So I would open up the door, I'd say, yes. And they'd say, do you have something to eat? We're hungry. And I said, well, where's your mother? And they'd say, she's passed out. She threw up last night. The older one would tell me this stuff. And I'd say, are you serious? You know, and I thought, okay, they're just little. So, and I would say, come on in. I'd fix them a bowl of cereal and give them some orange juice and feed them. And they would play with my kids. And they were good little boys, except one thing. They did say a lot of cuss words. But they learned it from their mother. I would say, if you're gonna watch cartoons over here, if you're gonna play on the porch with my kids, do not say ugly words in front of my kids. They didn't even know they were ugly words. I mean, honestly, I'd say, well, don't say that. We don't say that over here. And it just got to where, oh my gosh, every time I came home from work, every time I got up in the morning and opened the front door, there they were, or Myra was coming over. And I remember one day she said, hey, I've got a little money. Can you take me to McDonald's? I thought I would get the kids, you know, a Happy Meal and just, you know, get us a Coke. And I said, well, how much money do you have? And she said, I've got $100. And I mean, to her, I guess she thought, oh, I've got a lot of money. And it was to her. It was to me back then, you guys. And I said, well, I'll take you to the grocery store, but I won't take you to McDonald's. I said, honestly, Myra, I mean, I got to where I would just tell her straight, you know? I'm like 21 years old, okay? And I would say, Myra, you know, you need to take some of that money and buy food that will last. Nutritious food for your kids. You don't need to just go blow it all at McDonald's. I said, so if you want to go to the grocery store, I'll take you there. And she'd say, okay. But, you know, she wasn't happy about it. So I took her to the grocery store. I would tell her, you should buy a bag of potatoes. She didn't want to cook, okay? She didn't want to cook. And I said, we'll buy a bag of fries and get a bag of chicken fingers, get some cans of corn, macaroni and cheese, get you a gallon of milk, you know. And I said, you could get quite a bit for about 50 bucks and then you have the other money left. Like, I would tell her all this stuff, but, you know, it's funny because we would have words. It's like I was her mother or something, and we were about the same age. But she'd say, okay, but I mean, you know, I tell my kids I would get a Happy Meal. I said, well, I'm not going to take you there. I'm just not going to, because that's blowing your money. It's not like you have extra money for that. I don't do that with my kids because I can't afford it. At Christmas time, I asked her, what are you getting the kids for Christmas? Oh, we won't have Christmas. She said, I talked to them and she said, I'll try to get them something. But she said, we won't have much. And I said, do you have a Christmas tree? She said, no, I don't have a Christmas tree. I don't have any ornaments. She never had anything, you guys. And when I went into her apartment for the first time, it was a disaster, okay? She had a plank, like a wooden plank, propped up with two, what are they, like those big cement bricks, you know, with a wooden plank on top, and she did a makeshift table. She had just a worn out old sofa, and then in her room and their room, they just had mattresses thrown in the floor. Clothes was just kicked around everywhere, no dressers, nothing. They would eat their food sitting there at where that plank of wood was. I mean, they literally had nothing. I didn't have a lot, but I did have some furniture, you know, and I was just always so upset because the kids, the way they had to live. But not only that, I was upset for myself because I thought, she's driving me crazy. I wish she would move away. I was helping her, but not really with a giving heart. I did it because I felt like I had to, yet she was annoying me. I didn't know at the time, during that time, what really was transpiring in reality, because I was really too young to see what was happening. I just knew that she was a thorn in my side. All right, so Christmas was fast approaching. I worked at this medical clinic. The receptionist, she was about the age of my grandmother. Like, she was older. She asked me, just by chance, did I know of any needy families? And I went, no, not really. And then later on, I went back in there. I said, you know what? I do know of a needy family. They live next to me. I said, it's just a single mom and her two little boys. And I was telling her about them. I said, they drive me crazy. She said that their church, they did some kind of a Hope Christmas toy fund or something. I don't know. People donated coats and toys and bikes and things like that. And they were going to give away like some like Christmas dinner, like wrapped up in these big like styrofoam plates from restaurants, like turkey and dressing and ham and things like that. And Christmas trees. They were going to take Christmas trees with some Christmas lights and a few little decorations to needy homes. So I said, yeah, I want to put in her name because I said she doesn't have anything. And so this lady I worked with, her name was Dot. She said, okay, I'll put her on the list. I kind of forgot about it because it was kind of like maybe the first part of December. And one day, somebody knocked on my door, and I opened the door. It was Myra. She's like, oh my gosh, thank you so much. It was right before Christmas. She said the Baptist church came over, and they delivered a Christmas tree, and it's decorated, and there's presents, and they're already wrapped. And she said, oh, thank you, YOTA, so much for doing that. And I said, oh, great, because I didn't know at the time. I think they had to choose them or something. I think Dot, she was on the board at the church, and she pulled some strings. What I'm trying to say is they delivered Christmas to Myra and her 2 little boys. Otherwise, I don't know, they may have gotten like a little car or a ball or something. Who knows if they would have even gotten that. And I'm not trying to brag on myself, okay? Because what I'm trying to stress is that I was very young. Like now, if it were now, I would do it with a giving heart. I'm much older. I've lived, you know, a long time, raised my kids. I would do it with a giving heart. But back then I was just young, trying to make it on my own. I would do it because I guess I felt sorry for her. But more than anything, I was annoyed by her. I can remember literally taking out a paper bag, like those brown paper sacks like they used to give us at the grocery store, and just getting in my cabinet and taking out cans of corn, macaroni and cheese, loaf of bread. I would look in my freezer and see what was in there and just pack up a bunch of my groceries and take to Myra. Not as with a giving heart, but because I didn't want the boys to starve. And those little boys drove me nuts because they were always coming over and playing with my kids' toys and running off with half of them and just stuff like that. I mean, you know, but I always gave to them. But she did become very, very, very dependent on me. Fast forward a good 4 years, I had gotten married to my then boyfriend. I had another baby, and we moved away. I think I moved away without even saying bye, I think. Anyway, fast forward 4 years later, I was in the kitchen, and my kitchen was really big. It had the washer and dryer in the kitchen. So I was in there doing laundry, and Matthew was just a little tiny infant. Micah was in the Christian daycare, and my daughter was in either kindergarten or first grade, so she wasn't there. There was a knock at the door. And I was doing laundry. I didn't hear it at first. And then finally, like a pounding at the door. So I went to the door, and there was this girl standing there. Let me back up. So Myra, when we lived at the apartment, she didn't have any front teeth. And what she did have was bad. Like rotten. Even her body, everything was rotten. She was a mess, you guys. Her hair was just matted together. I can't explain. I mean, she looked like she lived on the streets, okay? So anyway, I heard this banging on the door, and I went to the door, and there was a girl standing out there, and I go, yes, can I help you? And she goes, hi, and just smiling so big, and I go, hi. And she goes, oh, I can't believe it. I found you. And she was just talking. I said, who are you? She said, you don't know who I am? And I said, no, should I know you? She said, YOTA, I'm Myra. I get chills right now telling this because the girl standing in front of me was not the Myra that used to be my neighbor, my annoying neighbor. And she had her hair combed. She was really cute. She was cute, but she had dental problems. But anyway, white teeth. And I said, Myra? Myra who? And she told me, I used to live next to you. And she told me her little boys' names, and I can't remember for the life of me their names right now. I said, no way. No way. And we hugged, and she said, YOTA, I had to find you. She said, I've been looking for you for a while. And that's way before Facebook and even, what was that other one? MySpace and all that stuff. I don't even know if I had a cell phone back then. Probably not. So to really find somebody, you had to really search. And she said, I've been looking for you for a while. And she said, and I finally found you, and I had to come tell you thank you, and that you really changed my life. I said, are you serious? And we talked, and she came in the house, and she told me, she said, I got my teeth fixed. I bought my own double-wide trailer. She told me her boys were doing well. She had a job. I don't remember a lot of the details, but it sounded like like, it wasn't possible, right? From what I knew. And I was so happy. And she said, and I just want to tell you, Yota, she said, you changed my life. I said, how? And I told her, I said, I didn't do all that for you because of you. I said, I'm just going to be honest. I felt sorry for the boys and they were so little. I said, I did it because I felt sorry for them. I said, a lot of times I would give you things and I didn't really give it to you with a giving heart. And she said, it doesn't matter, Yota. She said, I'm a Christian now. I got saved, and I don't know people listening to this story if you believe in that kind of stuff, but I totally do. She said, I changed my life. And I know that she used to do drugs. That's another thing. And that's why I would think, I don't want to help her. You know, I would think to myself, I'm not going to help her. She does drugs. I didn't want to help her. And she said, Yota, I don't do drugs. I don't drink. She said, my kids are doing well. And she said, and you were just as young as me with your own children. And she said, you helped me. And you helped me change. She said, when you left, I was lost. I didn't know what to do. And she said, I knew the only way that I could get out from the life that I was living was to straighten up. And I remember back when she lived in the apartment, one time I found her with her head literally hanging out of her bedroom window. And she had been throwing up. And her older boy told me, yeah, she's throwing up. You know, I can't imagine. But anyway, I never judged her because I just knew she was a troubled person. But my bottom line is she was just a thorn in my side. But we talked and talked, and she said, if I hadn't moved next to you, I don't know if I would even be here today, and my kids would probably be living in foster care. She said, but I have straightened up my life, and I always thought about you, how you worked, how you helped me, but yet you had your own children to take care of, and you took care of my kids. And she said, I never forgot you. And you know what? It made me cry. It gives me chills right now to talk about it because I was a little older by then, and I thought, I really did help her out. Yeah, I was 29, I think, 28 at that time. I was old enough to realize I did make a difference in her life, as though the early 20, 21-year-old Yota didn't see that. And it made me cry, and we both sat there and cried, and I said, I'm so proud of you. We need to stay in touch, and things like that. Of course, we didn't. I don't remember a lot past that. I just remember that one day that Myra came to visit me. A totally different person, you guys. I mean, it was as different as night and day. It was not the Myra that I knew. It was the new Myra. And I feel like a lot of times in life when we are beat down, I don't know, we never even had heart-to-heart talks back then. Like, I never knew what brought her to that place. Maybe she was born into a life of poverty. Maybe she was rebellious and left her family. I don't know, because I never saw anybody visit them except the trucker. I never really had a heart-to-heart with her. All we ever did was really argue. I would tell her off and hand her some bread. Just, you know, take care of your kids. But to this day, I have no idea what happened to her. I don't remember her last name. I don't remember a lot of detail after that, but I know that I did make a difference in her life. And the reason I want to tell this on my channel, and it has nothing to do with luxury, but you guys, no matter what situation you find yourself in, there's always hope, right? I didn't know as an individual, a young woman, that I was helping her the way I did. And it's always been such a blessing in my life that I know that I did. And I'm so thankful for it. And I wanted to share it with you guys because you don't really know what somebody has went through. Please don't judge others that you feel are beneath you. Because yeah, back then I thought, I am working and I want to be a nurse, and you know, I had aspirations and all this stuff, and I felt like I was better than her. I did talk down to her a lot. I wasn't, you know, knight in shining armor, so to speak, her savior or her helper. I would do it with a reluctant spirit or a reluctant heart, but I did help her. But if you have a neighbor, if you know someone who's struggling, you know, it's not going to hurt to help them, because I feel like, you know, the way we treat people, then we reap the benefits and the rewards from God. And the way my life is now compared to the way my life was when I was very young and raising my children is so different. I never had all of these beautiful luxury items. I didn't even have a handbag, you guys. I did not have a handbag. I think that what I had was, I may have had something my mom passed down to me or something. I didn't have anything. And I feel like God has blessed me, and He has blessed my life and put a blessing upon me and shown favor to me. Not because I'm special, but maybe because of that one act. It was a miracle. She was so pretty, so put together, so different, you guys. I just had to share this story because it is a story of hope and inspiration and what love can do. Because if I had not had love in my heart, and I didn't feel it, but I must have had enough love in my heart to help her and to share with her. And I feel like God has blessed me. He saw that act of kindness and He blessed me. And He also blessed her. And that is the way God works. I don't think it was a coincidence, as my ex-husband and I, or boyfriend at the time, we thought, wow, what a coincidence. I can't believe she happened to be, you know, move in and I figured it out. Life, you guys, life. It can come full circle. And like I said, I have no idea what happened to her. I don't even know what her last name is. I wouldn't know how to find her, but by some miracle, she found me and came to me and talked to me, and I was forever touched. And I don't know, it's just a touching story, you guys. I could tell even more things, but I think you get the gist of it. And my message today is be kind and be giving and helpful to those that are less fortunate than you, because you will reap the benefits. God will reward you and bless you, and maybe not with material things. And I do sit here with a lot of expensive material things around me. You guys, I could live without them. I love them, but I could live without them. I lived without them most of my life. I enjoy them, but what really matters in life is my family and my relationship with my Savior. And I kind of wanted to tell this story also because Easter is Sunday, and there is a God, you guys, and He's looking out for us. And He was looking out for Myra back then, and He saw the whole thing transpire. And it's just one of the most real and touching stories of my life. And like I said, I could go on, but I just wanted to share this story with you guys and tell you guys there's hope. Whichever side you're on, if you are needy, or if you are able to help someone, do it. Help them. Help other people. So, you know, be a light, you guys, and shine your light upon others. And I promise you, it may be years later, but you will reap the benefits of your actions. And so I'm going to leave it there. I want to say Happy Easter. I want to say Kalopasha, that's Happy Easter in Greece, Christos Anesti, He is risen. And I am very thankful for a living God and for all the miracles that He has done in my life, and the miracle that He did in Myra's life, and her little boys especially. So anyway, guys, I hope that you have a fabulous weekend, and I will see you guys in a few days. Peace.